Hey y'all, I'm Miranda and I live right here in Asheville. So you're getting this advice straight from a local. And the number one question I get asked from friends and family and even strangers who are wanting to visit Asheville is, when is the best time to visit Asheville? So Asheville is a small mountain town. Population is about 91,000 people, and it's nestled in a valley amidst the Blue Ridge Mountains in western North Carolina. It has a mild climate and is a beautiful place to visit year-round. It's easy to access by car, either from Interstate 26 or Interstate 40, and has a small regional airport, and the letters for that are AVL. Asheville is a popular place for hiking and outdoors, adventures, health and wellness activities, weddings, couples, and bachelor and bachelorette parties. Okay, so when is the best month to visit Asheville? Tourism and travel costs are lower during the colder months of December, January, and February, with the exception of the Christmas and New Year's holidays. The shoulder seasons are March and November, and the most popular months to visit are April, May, June, July, August, September, and by far the most popular and most expensive time to visit is during October, because a lot of people like to come here and see the leaves change in the mountains. Next question, what is the weather like in Asheville? The answer to this question varies wildly depending on when you choose to visit. Altitude variations throughout the mountains tend to create microclimates. This means that the weather forecasts tend to shift frequently and unexpectedly. So the closer you can look at the forecast to your hike, the more accurate it will be. For example, you may go to bed expecting rain in the morning and wake up and there's no rain. It may be raining in town, but may not be raining where you are going in the mountains to do your hike at the same time. And it also snows more in the mountains in the winter than it does in town. We have 4 mild seasons and experience very little extreme weather, such as blizzards, earthquakes, hurricanes, tornadoes, and wildfires. There are occasional heavy rains or storms, which can cause flash floods, rock slides, or mudslides. Is it always rainy in Asheville? On average, Asheville gets about 118 days of precipitation. In other words, there's an average of about a 32% chance, or 1 in 3, that you'll encounter precipitation during any day. Rain is most likely to occur in May, June, July, and August. It's about average in February, March, April, and September. And rain is least likely to occur in October, November, December, and January. And the mountains at higher elevations surrounding Asheville, part of the Southern Appalachian Spruce Fir Forest. This is a temperate rainforest and receives about 60 inches of precipitation per year. Temperate rainforests are wet, but not as wet as tropical rainforests. So average spring weather in Asheville. This time of year, the weather bounces around between cold, cool, wet, and warm. Everyone is excited to get back outdoors after being inside more during the winter. March through May is a great time to see wildflowers, especially rare species like trillium. Summer Asheville weather. June, July, and August are the warmest, but also the wettest months in Asheville. Thunderstorms can happen at any time, but are most likely to occur during the summer. However, most of these storms tend to pass through quickly, usually lasting less than an hour, in the early afternoon between 1 p.m. and 5 p.m. We also sometimes get extra rain from tropical storms during the Atlantic hurricane season, most likely in August or September, possibly even October. So best time to visit Asheville to see the fall foliage. Lots of people come here to see the leaves change color in the mountains surrounding Asheville. The exact time the leaves change depends on a lot of factors throughout the year, including temperature and rainfall and elevation. So leaf color changes happen earlier at higher elevations, as early as September, and at lower elevations, the color can last as late as November. October is typically the most colorful and therefore the most popular time to visit Asheville. So what are winters like in Asheville? Asheville does get some snow, about 10 inches per year, which is far less than the US average of 28 inches of snow per year. We mostly get flurries that don't stick, but there could be 1 or 2 larger snows in December, January, and February. And January is typically the coldest month in Asheville. Here's the weather in Asheville broken down month by month. In January, the weather tends to be cold. Average temperature is a high of 47 degrees Fahrenheit, which is 8 degrees Celsius, with a low of 31 degrees Fahrenheit or -2 degrees Celsius. Snow is pretty likely with an average snowfall of 4 inches, and rain is possible. The average precipitation is about 2.87 inches or 73 millimeters. And the tourism in Asheville in January tends to be pretty low. Okay, in February, the weather is cold. Average temperature is a high of 50 degrees Fahrenheit, which is just over 10 degrees Celsius, and a low of 28 degrees Fahrenheit, or negative 0.6 degrees Celsius. Snow is probable, with average snowfall of about 3 inches or 7.6 centimeters this time of year. Rain is probable, with average precipitation of 3.23 inches or 82 millimeters. Tourism in Asheville in February tends to be pretty low. In March, the weather tends to be cool. Average temperature is a high of 58 degrees Fahrenheit, or around 14 degrees Celsius, and a low of 37 degrees Fahrenheit, or about 3 degrees Celsius. Rain is probable, with an average precipitation of 3.3 inches of rain, or about 85 millimeters. Snow is less likely, but still possible. Average snowfall this time of year is about 2 inches or 5 centimeters. Tourism is moderate. People are excited to get back outside and start traveling again after winter. In April, the weather in Asheville, North Carolina tends to be cool. Average temperature is a high of 67 degrees Fahrenheit, or 19 degrees Celsius, and a low of 45 degrees Fahrenheit, or just over 7 degrees Celsius. Rain is possible, with an average precipitation of 3 inches, or about 77 millimeters. Snow is possible, with average snowfall of 1 inches. This is pretty late in the season for snow, but it could still happen. And Asheville tourism in April is moderate. So in May, the weather in Asheville, North Carolina tends to be pretty warm. The average temperature high tends to be 75 degrees Fahrenheit, or about 24 degrees Celsius, with a low of 52 degrees Fahrenheit, or almost 12 degrees Celsius. Rain is likely, with average precipitation of just over 3.2 inches, or 83 millimeters. Snow is unlikely this time of year, but I have seen it happen. Tourism in May is moderate. Okay, moving on to June, the weather in Asheville tends to be warm. Average temperature high is 82 degrees Fahrenheit, or 27.5 degrees Celsius, with a low of 61 degrees Fahrenheit, or 16 degrees Celsius. Rain is likely, with average precipitation over 3 inches, or 86 millimeters. Tourism starts to pick up around this time, so tourism can be high. In July, the weather in Asheville is hot. Average temperature is a high of 85 degrees Fahrenheit, or 29 degrees Celsius, with a low of 65 degrees Fahrenheit, or 18 degrees Celsius. Temperatures can be 10 to 20 degrees cooler in the mountains than in town, especially early morning and late evening. Rain is likely, with average precipitation of 3.35 inches, or about 85 millimeters. And thunderstorms are likely early in the afternoon, but usually pass through quickly this time of year. Tourism can be high in July. In August, the weather in Asheville tends to be hot. Average temperature is a high of 84 degrees Fahrenheit, or just over 28 degrees Celsius, and a low of 64 degrees Fahrenheit, or almost 18 degrees Celsius. Rain is likely, with average precipitation of 3.4 inches, or 87 millimeters. Also, thunderstorms are likely early in the afternoon, but usually pass through quickly. Tourism is about average in August. In September, the weather in Asheville, North Carolina tends to be warm. Average temperatures are a high of 77 degrees Fahrenheit, or 25 degrees Celsius, and a low of 57 degrees Fahrenheit, or almost 14 degrees Celsius. Rain is possible, with average precipitation of 3.23 inches, or 82 millimeters. Tourism starts to pick up around this time in September, with people wanting to come see some of the leaves change. And in October, the weather in Asheville, North Carolina tends to be cool. Average temperatures are a high of 68 degrees Fahrenheit, or about 20 degrees Celsius, and a low of 46 degrees Fahrenheit, or almost 8 degrees Celsius. Rain is unlikely but possible, with average precipitation just over 2 inches, or 54 millimeters. Snow is unlikely, but I have seen it happen in October, especially at higher elevations. And this is the busiest time of year. Average tourism in October is very high. A lot of people planning vacations, planning weddings, planning reunions, get-togethers, getaways. Really popular time, the most popular time to visit Asheville. November. The weather in Asheville in November tends to be cool. Average temperature is a high of 58 degrees Fahrenheit, or about 15 degrees Celsius, with a low of 38 degrees Fahrenheit, or just over 3 degrees Celsius. Rain is unlikely but possible, with average precipitation of 2.9 inches, or 74 millimeters. Snow is again unlikely during this month, but it is possible. I've definitely seen it snow in Asheville and in the mountains in November. Tourism in November is moderate. And December. So the weather in Asheville, North Carolina in December tends to be cold. Average temperature is a high of 49 degrees Fahrenheit, or just over 9 degrees Celsius, and a low of 30 degrees Fahrenheit, or -1 degree Celsius. Rain is unlikely but possible, with average precipitation of 2.76 inches, or 70 millimeters. Snow is likely. Average snowfall is about 3 inches this time of year. This is when we move beyond the flurries and start getting a little bit more serious snow, but still not too crazy compared to like the Northeast or the Midwest. And Asheville December tourism is pretty low, with the exception of the Christmas and New Year holidays. Thank you guys so much for joining me for this video. I hope this information helps you plan your trip to Asheville and make the best, most informed decisions. If you found this video useful, please give me a thumbs up. Ask me any questions you have in the comments, and let me know what you're most looking forward to in Asheville and when you're planning to visit, or if you already visited, let me know what your favorite things were to do. Subscribe if you're planning a trip or thinking of moving here, or like to visit often. Even if you live here, you might learn something new. Namaste and have a great day.